Hello, everyone, and welcome to the channel. And if you've been here before, welcome back, and thank you so much for your support. I'm actually on a cruise right now, and we've been talking to some fellow passengers that are fairly new to cruising, and they had a lot of great questions. So it got me to thinking about all the things I wish someone had told us when we first started cruising. There's a lot of things that seasoned cruisers like us just take for granted, but it can feel overwhelming when you're new. My hope is that this video will help you feel more confident and prepared as you get ready to set sail for the first time.
I'm Trinice West, and this guy is my husband, Kevin.
We're a retired couple, and our goal is to travel as much as possible while we're physically able, without draining our retirement savings. Our channel is all about inspiring you to embrace your golden years while navigating the world on a fixed income, one voyage at a time. There are a few things that most first-time cruisers really struggle with, and some mistakes that are pretty common. But you don't have to worry about that because you're already doing the research. There are lessons that we learn the hard way or we watch other people learn. So let's get into it and save you the trouble. Number 1, cabin location. Be careful with booking guaranteed cabins because the cruise line can stick you anywhere. Now, we booked a guaranteed cabin on Virgin Voyages a few years ago, and it was fine. But they say that they don't have any back cabins, and the cabin was actually a great location. But that's not always the case on all cruise lines and all ships. You need to look at where the cabin is at before you book so that you will not have a miserable trip. Make sure it's not under the gym. There are actually signs that say do not drop weights because it disturbs the people below. Do not book a cabin that's below or above the dining room, especially if there's not any carpeting in the dining room. You can hear chairs scraping back and forth. Try to avoid cabins near the disco or the lounge, dance lounges. Also the atrium. The atriums are usually open, and if the cabin's nearby, you hear that. So if you get these cabins here, you're going to hear the music. So think before you get these. We have even made the mistake of booking a cabin near the anchor. We were asleep in the cabin. This is when my kids were little, and we pulled into port, and I heard this noise. I realized later that we booked a cabin near the anchor. So please don't make those mistakes. And in fact, I may make a future video about how I select our cabins. Number 2, arriving on the day of your cruise. Don't do it. I don't like the stress. And I've talked to too many people who've missed their ship, or they have people in their party who didn't make it on time. There could be flight delays. You miss a connection. It could be horrible weather. That happens all the time. Or just traffic if you're driving to the port. And let me be perfectly clear, the ship will not wait for you. So here's a solution that many of us seasoned cruisers have found out that's non-negotiable. Get there the day before. If you have to stay one night in a hotel, it's a small price to pay to have a peace of mind and to know that you will be there in time, because if your flight's delayed or anything like that, at least you have time to adjust. And so that way you can start your vacation relaxed and ready to go. And if you're flying internationally, this is even more important. You may even want to fly in a day or two earlier just so you can get over jet lag. I know I struggle with jet lag, and it's nice to get there, kind of get used to that time before you actually get on your ship. Number 3, seasickness. A lot of people feel like they may not struggle with that. And a lot of the ships now are equipped with stabilizers and things like that, especially the larger ships. And you may not feel the movement quite as much, but you can still hit rough seas. And the biggest mistake is thinking that you won't get seasick and you're not prepared for it. And if you wait until you start feeling sick on the ship, it might be too late. They do sell a lot of the ships in the shops. They do sell motion sickness pills, or you may be able to go to the infirmary or medical center and get something there, but that can be expensive and they can sell out quickly. So the best thing to do is to pack a small kit, whatever you think will help you. Dramamine, Bonine, the patches. People use ginger chews. Green apples, they say help. I know one cruise, it was really rocking. They had green apples everywhere, all over the ship for a seat. I also use sea bands. I love them. I get seasick a lot. So I use this to make sure that I'm okay. And I actually put them on before the cruise starts so that I'm covered. They also say get up and get fresh air, look at the horizon, lots of different things that you can do. And another little tip as far as booking your cabin, try to book a cabin that's towards the bottom, lower part of the ship and in the middle of the ship because you feel the least amount of motion in that area. Number 4, costs can add up. Now, usually the cruise fee that you see will include your cost of your cruise and your taxes and your port fees and things like that, but it does not include gratuities. So you have to think about that. That is an additional fee, and cruise lines, they can run anywhere from $15 to $20 per person per day. And so they automatically add this to your account. Another thing that people who are fairly new to cruising may not know is number 5 is optional costs. These are things that you can spend, but you don't have to. You have to think about the drink package. Do you really need it? Are you going to drink that much? And cruise lines really push these drink packages. And you may think, hey, I'm saving money by buying it. But you need to crunch the numbers and say, how much am I really going to drink? How much do the drinks cost per drink? And so if you think you need to drink 10 drinks to break even, ask yourself, am I really going to drink that much to break even? Think about your drinking habits and what type of drinks you're going to get, cocktails, especially coffee, soda, that type of thing. And see if the package is actually going to work out for you and see if it's economical for you. Now, I know some people say, hey, I don't want to think about it. I just want to be able to go and, it's already paid for. And so if that works for you, that works for you. You be you. But I would say crunch the numbers and make sure it's going to be a worthwhile cost for you. If you're finding value in our content, please consider subscribing to the channel and ring that notification bell so that you'll know when our next video drops. Thanks so much for your support. Number 6, excursions. Excursions can be a really expensive part of your cruise and it can quickly add up. And so first timers, you have to decide if you're going to book that. First timers usually make the mistake of doing one or the other. They book every single tour through the cruise line or they book nothing at all and they don't have a plan. So the cruise lines do guarantee that you will be back there on time. So if you do it through them, so that is that peace of mind, but it's very expensive. And then sometimes first-time cruisers don't have a clue what they're going to do. They just get off the ship and just wander around and waste a lot of time, and they don't see things that they really wish they had taken the time out and found out about and actually have seen while they were in the port. So we do a hybrid approach where I try to do the research and do it ourselves. And if not, I feel like if it's a place we're never going to go back to or there are a lot of things to see and I'm nervous about it, I will book through the ship. So it's important to do the research, and if you have the time, do the research, read the reviews, get some reputable local companies if you do decide to do it yourself. But think about how you want to approach each port, because you don't have to do an excursion through the ship for each port. You can do some of it yourself, and sometimes you can just get out and explore the city, but it's a great way to save money. By doing a hybrid approach, or, you feel bold enough, you can do all of it yourself. But I will do a future video about how I approach, the different ports and how we set it up. And you can also check out some of my videos where I actually walk you step by step. I take you along with me as I'm touring the port. And there are also plenty of other videos also on YouTube that you can watch as you're doing your research. Number 7. Pre-book items for like shows and specialty restaurants. You can book those ahead of time. You want to do that before they're full, and you can usually get a discount with the specialty restaurants. And speaking of restaurants, the main dining rooms are included in your cruise fare. So you don't have to sit in the buffet and eat the buffet unless you just want to do so. I actually had a cruiser ask me, oh, is this included? I'm like, yes, it's included. So they didn't realize that was included. Also, number 8, embarkation. That's when you're going onto the ship. You do have to do a muster drill, and that's when you go to a station, so you'll know exactly where to go in the event of emergency. And another thing, a tip with the embarkation day, is that you may not get your luggage until later on. It could be a couple of hours. So you could be on the ship half a day or so without your luggage. So think about what you need to have on you. Make sure your phone is fully charged, anything else that you need. Make sure it's fully charged. If you want a portable charger or anything like that, you can have a small little backpack or purse where you've got your swimsuit or anything that you think you're going to need before your luggage gets there. Make sure you have that. So that way you're just not sitting around waiting for your bags to show up and being frustrated. You can go ahead and start enjoying yourself. Number 9, Make sure you download the app before you leave. And most cruise lines are going to apps, and it's necessary. So go ahead and download it so you'll have it. If there's a way that you can get in and familiarize yourself with that, that's great. Or you can watch videos about it. But download the app before you leave so you're not trying to do that when you don't have Wi-Fi on the ship. Number 10, as far as Wi-Fi, your cell phone, make sure you put it in airplane mode so you don't get charged roaming fees. For Kevin and I, what we do is we have Verizon. We actually turn Verizon off. And so we don't have to even worry about the roaming charges. And then we turn on airplane mode and use the ship's Wi-Fi, which you can use. That's just for you to check the app and all that, but you have to pay for the internet package. But we just turn it off so we don't have to worry about roaming fees. And a bonus tip is debarkation. That's when you're getting off the ship. Don't schedule your flight too close to the time when the ship docks. The ship can get in late. And if you schedule your flight, you think, oh, the ship docks at 6, I have a 9 o'clock flight. That might be too tight. So, make sure you give yourself some wiggle room. I try to do ours around like 11, 12, or the afternoon, just to be safe. Cruising is an incredible way to see the world, but it definitely has its own set of rules. If these tips help you feel more prepared, do me a huge favor and hit that like button. And for more advice to help you cruise like a pro, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Now, I want to hear from all you experienced cruisers out there. What's the number one thing that you wish someone had told you before you did your first cruise? Drop your number one tip in the comments below. I would love to hear from you. And let's help all these first-time cruisers have the trip of a lifetime, and maybe they would be just as addicted to cruising as we are. Until next time, take care, everyone, and safe travels.